Hello and welcome to Steve's Vintage Model Builds. I'm Steve, otherwise known as Sir of Awe. Anyways, haven't been doing much in the hobby room, but you know, a couple of kits coming along, and I saw this and I was interested in it. So it was a good price, and I got it from Amazon. And I think it was about $30. Yeah. Anyways, whatever it was reasonable. It's an older kit, tooled in 2000, with new parts a couple of times. Once in 2002, and then I guess between 2003 and 2004. And but also, but there have been many more decal updates. Since then, and so there's lots of iterations out there. I think there's one that has for the Japanese Defense Forces, along with a few other things. So, anyways, it's a 1/48 scale kit. Hasegawa catalog number PT19. They have this as copyright 2005. Oh, and the alternate is 07219, their catalog number. But it's always been a Hasegawa kit. And I have the F-18. It's in 172 though. And so, anyways, I'm just going to open the box. Nice box art. And then we'll start talking about the aircraft. Just like Tamiya, they use the masking tape to seal them up. Yesterday was Canada Day here in Kazakhstan, and we had a lovely day. It was very hot, and it was also my wife's birthday. So, anyways, we went down to our local beach park, which is a lovely complex. There's swimming, there's boating, there's water taxis across to the various little islands that are out there for people to explore. There were food trucks and, you know, all that usual stuff. Anyways, it was a lot of fun. So, yeah, and then we came back and I had a prime rib steak for dinner, and Esther had grilled pompano fish with mango sauce. Which I made. Okay, so we'll move this over here. But before we quite get started here, I have a bit of a rant. It happened again. I ordered a kit from Amazon. And it came like this. And it came like this. Now, you know, I've said it before, and, you know, for me, it's not that big a deal, other than it just tells me that somebody doesn't care. But, you know, a lot of people in this hobby, you know, they collect the box art. And whether they just order the kit and put it on the shelf for their collection, or whether they build the kit and then display it, or keep it to collect that too. You know, it kind of just wrecks everything. And, you know, there wasn't even one of those lousy, what do you call it, gray envelopes that Amazon sends stuff in. Or even the padded paper one. Just, you know, it's like, break, guys. anyways, so that upset me. So I took the trouble to go and contact a live person at Amazon and to say that I'd had this problem before. I'm sure others have had too. And I'd appreciate it if they would forward it to whoever needs to be forwarded to. Because, I mean, there's just no excuse for that. I mean, no matter what you pay for the kit, it should come in a decent box, you know, unless it's, you know, like eBay or whatever, where, you roll the dice every time. But in any case, just upset me. So, anyways, very nice lady, and helped me out a lot. And she gave me two choices. She said, we can ship you out a second kit, no charge, and don't worry about the first kit. You can keep that. Or she said, we can give you a full refund. I'm like, okay, I don't really need to, so I'll take the refund, thank you. Okay. So anyways, it worked out in the end, and you know, and I hope they, you know, and I was clear to her too. I said, I know it's not you. I mean, it's, you know, whoever the shipper is, right? I mean, I get it. It's probably on a shelf in a warehouse someplace, and some picker has to go get it, and, you know. But no, that's just carelessness and negligence. I don't like it. Okay, so here we are. Here we have a very nice, instructions in black and white. No surprise there. Nice looking aircraft. And builds up nicely. Lovely aircraft. That'll look real nice next to my SR-71. So I'll just read here the what it says here on the instruction sheet. The F-104 Starfighter was the first aircraft to fly faster than Mach 2. The prototype XF-104 made its maiden flight in February 1954, and the aircraft was soon dubbed the manned missile, due to its elongated, pointed fuselage and stubby wings. An upgraded engine, yeah, they had a problem with the original engine, with the afterburners, but anyways, they upgraded the engine, and it allowed the experimental aircraft YF-104 to fly at 2,259 kilometers an hour in May 1958 to set a new world record, firmly establishing the type as the world's fastest fighter plane. That's a plus. We're going to talk about minuses later, as well as other pluses. The Starfighter was equipped with specially designed ultra-thin wings intended to minimize aerodynamic drag, a feature clearly revealing the original design goal for the type, emphasizing pure speed above all other performance factors. The distinctively shaped wings of the craft, with their short, blunt lines, flat surfaces, and slightly dropped angle, resembled the fins of a missile more than the wings of an aircraft, thus leading to the obvious metaphors and nicknames of man, missile, etc., which were to follow the type through its service career. The unusual T-shaped tail structure arrangement only helped to accentuate the missile-like or spaceship appearance of the craft. The F-104C was developed as a tactical fighter for the Tactical Air Command of the United States Air Force, and equipped with a refueling nozzle on the forward left side of the fuselage and special boundary layer control systems, which increased the performance of the flaps. 77 F-104Cs were produced in total and were deployed with the 479th Tactical Fighter Group beginning in 1958, where they served until they were refitted with F-4 Phantoms. Oh, the fighter group was refitted with F-4 Phantoms in 1967. After the type's retirement from active USAF service, the planes were shipped off to various Air National Guard units, where they soldiered on until the mid-70s. And I'll add to that too, there are still some flying. There's a few, I think about a half a dozen in the United States, and they're owned by private companies. And I guess, you know, they take them around air shows and stuff like that. So, had a long service history. And so it had a crew of one. The engine was a J79 GE7. And max speed, Mach 2.2 at 12,200 meters. 20mm Vulcan cannon, and that was on the maiden flight. It was later fitted for Sidewinder missiles. We'll talk about that as well. Okay, so I'm going to jump right in and start with the elephant in the room. This aircraft has had a very poor safety record. There were a lot of accidents for a lot of reasons. And across the board, I think it ended up working out to be anywhere from about 28 to 42% losses from the countries that were flying them. And a lot of countries flew them. And which brings me to the baby elephant in the room. So, part of the problem was that it was designed as a fast interceptor. At the time of its design, until you know, a few years after, that was the emphasis. Fast interceptors that could get up there real quick, intercept Soviet bombers before they could get anywhere near the United States and shoot them down. It was simple. Same idea as the Avro Arrow, but that's a whole other story. So, this aircraft fit the specs perfectly, and that's what it was designed for. And now, admittedly, it's a Lockheed, and it was the design and development was supervised by Clarence Kelly of Skunk Works fame. And you have to remember too that, you know, basically this was just the second generation of fighter jet, and so the aircraft that Kelly's team designed fit the specs perfectly. Yes, it was, well, I mean, first of all, it was obviously cutting edge, looking at the design, and which most of Skunk Works stuff is. So, and also, like the SR-71 and the U-2 in particular, were not easy to very difficult to fly. So, and so anyways, so not making, you know, I'm not making excuses. I'm just trying to put all the different points out there, and people can decide for themselves. I mean, obviously, a 28 to 42% loss rate is horrific. You know, even if there wasn't lost pilots, although there were a lot of those. So, anyways, so here's what happened. So they went through the experimental stage, and with the YF, and but then they decided that they wanted they wanted this to be like a cross NATO aircraft, and so and NATO wanted it redesigned to be a fighter slash fighter bomber aircraft. So they did a lot of redesign on it, and I think that's part of the problem, is that, you know, they tried to stick a square peg in a round hole. And then now we get to the other little elephant in the room. It was learned years later, decades later, that, well, no way to sugarcoat it. Lockheed had bribed numerous countries to get the contracts and sell them the aircraft. So, you know, the way of the world, especially in certain places. So, anyways, so there was that. And Germany in particular had, well, I think that's where it earned the nickname Widowmaker. They in particular had terrible time with it, and there were a couple reasons for that. And this also applies to some of the other air forces that were deploying them. The pilots were inexperienced. After World War II, they didn't necessarily have, they were conscripts to start with. And, you know, it's not exactly like they had the cream of the crop to choose from. And there were also maintenance standards and other things and so on and so forth. So they suffered quite heavily. Although they did they flew the platform for decades. I think up until well into the 80s, I think, in one role or another. So, yeah. So, and, you know, getting back to the interceptor fighter, the other problem with it was maneuvering. Having not been designed as a dogfighter, it had a very, very wide turning radius. It was so wide that the pilots joked that you didn't really turn, you banked with the intention to turn. So, yeah, again, you know, like I say, it was meant to be a flying missile. It was meant to get off the ground, fly straight at its target, and eliminate its target. And then, as usual, you know, when they go mess with it, the same thing happened with the Bronco. You know, they said they want this, they want it to be this, they want it to be that, and then, you know, and it just ends up being crappy at everything. So, yeah, so that's that. So, I mean, people can decide for themselves. I think people have been a little hard on it. It was in service for decades, and it did particularly well in Vietnam, where they used it as a ground attack fighter bomber. But that's the other aspect of it too. A lot of countries that bought it were using it as a ground attack aircraft, and that usually means you need to be fairly low to the ground and very susceptible to anti-aircraft missiles and guns and so on and so forth. So, not to mention just pilot error accidents. So I guess people can decide for themselves. I think the criticism's a little bit unfair, but at the same time, you know, I'm unabashedly a Lockheed guy, and so that's just my kind of evaluation for it. Yeah, I mean, I guess to boil it down, it is that, you know, they tried to adapt it to a role it wasn't designed for, and the sacrifice there was safety. Simple as that. It was effective in the roles that they deployed it in. Taiwan, the Berlin crisis, many other places, as I mentioned, in Vietnam. And so, yeah, war's not perfect, unfortunately. And that's the way it is. So, anyways, so here we go. Enough of my yapping. We might as well get this over with. We have a very large, extensive decal sheet. Hasegawa does this, and there's another company, Italeri. They give you lots of options too. Although I think when it comes down to it, there's only about 2 or 3 here. So, but they're nice. They're kind of papery, cardboardy. It just says Hasegawa 2000 OFS made in Japan. So the paper might even be a little bit thicker than Tamiya, or it might, yeah, I think it's a little bit thicker. So, but I don't mind the Tamiya. I like the paper a bit thicker. If things are too thin, I mess up. So, and we've also got control panel and side control panels, and yeah, lots of nice lightning streaks. And why do they have to come to the country? Anyways, so that's interesting. Okay. Where'd my cat take the scissors? Okay, so we'll take a look at the clear parts here. There's some kind of vinyl spacers here. We'll see what those are with the instructions. And my camera doesn't do it justice. They're very nice. One little spot there. I can probably. Oh no, it was just a speck. Yeah. And I don't know if you can see, but we've got the detail of the bolts, the seams here for the cockpit. Yeah. The only other Hasegawa kit I've built, or I'm building, is the IJN Akagi 1700 scale. And I don't know what it is about that model. You know, it's almost done, and I don't know. It's terrible, Steve. Okay, so here we get one bag. Not very impressed about that, but what can you do? At least the box wasn't crushed and have stickers all over it. Okay, so right on top. Here we go. Don't need 2 of these. There it is. Nice panel detail. The panels are recessed. There's a few access panels here. You can feel the bolts, but the panels themselves aren't raised. And yeah, so pretty good. And next we have the wings, landing gear doors. Oops, looks like number 2 broke off. Hopefully I'll find that in here. Set that aside. And this is the tail and I guess flaps. Here we got the wheels. They're just regular plastic. I guess probably part of the fuselage under the engine. Everything looks good. And here, obviously, we have the engine intake cone, landing gear struts, all the little doodads. Oh, there's our little piece. There we go. And here's the refueling I can't remember what they're called. Again, more wheels, engine cowling. This looks like the cockpit tub. Side fuel tanks. Mini wings, stabilizers. Oh, there's another little piece. And here's the engine exhaust. Other stuff to do with the engines. And yeah. So, and the plastic's flawless. I mean, there's no problems with it at all. There's no flash. And, you know, except for those 2 or 3 little parts that it separated, everything was good. I'm going to have to ding a point on that, or a quarter point. Okay, so I think, and here again, I think this is part of the reason I had trouble with the Akagi. The instructions here, I find them to be quite busy. I mean, that's probably just me. I find that, you know, again, unabashedly, I'm a Tamiya guy, and I built so many of those kits. A lot of them I might not even need instructions. I'm sure a lot of you guys are the same. So, anyways, yeah, it's just kind of weird to me. So I have to concentrate a lot more to make sure I get things right. So, but now, having said that, of course they give you the legend, and you know, start with the seat assembly. They make this piece look big, but it's tiny. That's just the pull for the ejection seat. And then installing the seat into the tub, exhaust manifold, main gear assembly. Nothing too complex, really. And, you know, my experience with the Akagi was everything went together well, especially the hull, which is always a bonus. Oh, and it looks like this might be something for like the landing gear. Anyways, we'll find out later, I guess. Oh, and here, and this is at the end, but they give you the sprue rack map, and then 2 different kinds of paint along with the generic name. Okay, and again, you know, everything looks pretty simple. But not that complex. Wait till we start getting into the decals. Yeah, all those little, yeah. And yeah, the wing configuration, it looks a little more than it needs to be, but that's okay. And then here we go. Oh, that was the rudder, one of those pieces that was broken off. Then we got the front landing gear. Of course, if you're going to do this in flight, obviously you wouldn't need to do that. And I do have some nice ICM stands. It'd be pretty easy to modify the understag. I'll have to decide. I'll have to see if I have an appropriate 48 scale pilot, or one that I can get away with anyways. So yeah, and then you know, we've got the landing gear and wheel assemblies. The missile launcher racks go on the underside. Final pieces for assembly with the tail. Wingtip fuel tanks. I like this. These two go on absolutely last. Keep people like me from breaking them. And it doesn't say there's a cockpit open option, but I'm sure you could finagle one. But again, I'll have to decide on that. So, okay, so now comes time to evaluate the kit, or grade it, if you will. Okay, so I use, let's get my pencil. Might as well use this for something. Okay, so I use a 12-point system. There's 4 categories. The first category is packaging, and the second category is, sorry about that. So it's 2 points for packaging, 2 points for the sprues. Are they complete? Is there flash, molding, all that kind of stuff? For packaging, I don't hit the manufacturer if something like this over here happens. But if it comes direct from them, then I ding them for points if it's no good. So, excuse me. And also take a look at the, you know, the box art. Yeah, so here there have been a couple points. So 2 points on the packaging, nothing wrong with that, everything was fine. I have to ding a quarter point on the sprues. Everything was there, but yeah, 3 pieces had fallen off, so that's part of the criteria, is everything stays on. But yeah, there didn't look like there were any, you know, nubs, recesses, ejection pin marks, anything stupid like that. Parts is next, and that's up to 3 points. I look at the quality of plastic, the detail, if there's any warped or broken parts, decals, PE, whatever bonus little thingies they want to put in there for you. So everything seemed to be fine. I don't know, it's hard to say. I'm going to give them a 2.75 on that because of the decals. They do look, the paper looks kind of thick, and they may turn out to be fine, but I'll correct that in the after build review. And the other thing was that I don't know. The detail looked okay, but yeah. So those two things, ding them a quarter point on that. And then the instructions. They're nice general service and history notes. Although I'm not used to their style, they're very clear. They were in black and white. That's not a big deal. The layout was good. You got a sprue rack map. So yeah, full 3 points there. Now each of these categories can get a quarter point bonus for what I call any wow factor. There isn't really anything here in any of those categories. It's a good kit. It's a solid kit. But there's nothing that, jumps right out at you. I guess maybe if I was going to do something, no. Because yeah, I mean, I'd be disappointed if they only gave me one kind of decal scheme. So it's nice that they give you options there. So okay, so yeah, 3 on the instructions, and okay, so yeah, there weren't any real wow things going on there. And I also award up to 1 point for value. And I'm going to give them half a point on this. It's a nice kit. It was very reasonably priced. And, it says 143 pieces. But I think it'll be a pretty easy, nice build. We'll see about that. I've set aside almost all of the partially completed kits. The mojo for them right now is just gone to work on them, and I'm going to do this one, and so I'll do an after build review and reveal from there. So that brings us to a solid 10 out of 12, and everybody has their own standards. This is just my opinion. I think it's fair, but I always welcome comments, and if I've made a mistake somewhere, either with facts I'm presenting or whatever the case may be, feel free to leave a comment, and always welcome to hear them. Positive, negative, even negative ones, just please keep them respectful. Alright, so that's it for today. I have something else interesting coming up, but it won't be here until the middle of the month. And it was really hot here the last few days, and so I didn't want to work in the hobby room. I mean, yeah, there's fans and stuff, but yeah, yeah. Besides, the weather's so beautiful, why stay inside? Yeah, that's right. Go out and play, Steve. Okay, so thanks again to everyone. Up to 611 subscribers now. Thank you all very much. I appreciate everybody's support, their suggestions, their comments, and everyone's always welcome here. So hope everybody has a great day, and that continue to enjoy your summer. Bye now.